Okay, let's start from the beginning. Make sure you can hear me. We have to get at least some statistics and general structure on each of the systems and make it up as I go, since it's all private anyway. First, we'll start with the solar system. Ours, we have it right now. Been around since, well, whenever. Okay. Historically, probably another 200 to 500 years in the future, we as humans started going out into our solar system, colonizing, exploring, improving our ways of getting around in space. Eventually, maybe 500 to 1,000 years later, they finally decided to try and move into another solar system, Alpha Centauri being the most logical choice. As, of course, the math statistics said, there weren't a whole lot of planets that actually could be Earth-like. Although there were plenty of planets that had oxygen or near Earth size, water, lots of things that could be made near so. But they went for whatever that they could to find. Probably sent probes out at first, which took, maybe 20 years to 100 years. Logical. Again, these are all logical. Oh, wait. This is YouTube. Oh, well. Historically, these are all logical things that happened. So I guess this isn't private. Logical things that happened, and the human race expanded slower than light at first. That took probably, again, 500 to 1,000 years to actually get there. Not all of the generation colony or cryo ships that went made it. Not all of them survived all the way. But enough of them made it to the first few systems that they were able to start life. Usually in habitats, stations, maybe asteroids. Sometimes Earth-like or near gravity type planets, although none of them except for turquoise was actually near Earth-like, and even that wasn't perfectly good. So that's where we'll start 5,000 years into the future. Of course, the question begs how far technology has gone in 5,000 years, since in only 10,000 years we've gone from using rocks and sticks to doing this on YouTube right now. But one has to, from my side of things, the next frontier is going to be a big hurdle, a big jump. We'll have lots of technological jumps, but eventually there'll be what I think is a plateau of what reality can do for us. And until we're able to actually bend reality, we're going to have to apply what we know to those laws, and we can only bend them so far. And therefore, that's why I say 5,000 years into the future instead of, let's say, only 500. Because some people prescribe to the technology being much faster. I don't. So by this time, Tech Level 9 is the general, although Tech Level 10 certainly has found its way into military and higher corporations and those with the money. High quality, in this case, means Tech Level 10. So that's kind of important for the characters to know. Earth is a corporateocracy, excuse me, in that probably no more than 3,000 years ago, the central government was done away with. Because of the amount that the corporates had, they were able to put together enough force to force the central government to disband and make their own. Let's just say 100 corporations are in the top brackets. They have the actual houses or seats that say, okay, we make the vote, or we make the elections, we make the votes, or we make the laws, is what I mean to say. And that's important to note because the society that's like that is much like, if you read on the space book, a corporatocracy is very much for the company, for profit. So everything for profit is how things work. In this case, a person can't necessarily enter just any profession. They'll have to enter what their scores say they are good at. However, the corporates recognize the importance of education, and so long as a person is willing to work for it, they can continue their education, then reapply and get to a job that they actually want or one they're more qualified for. In this case, Earth is about, let's see, 3-4 systems, I think, and they have about 8 to 10 trillion people last count. Again, mostly in habitats or asteroids, because asteroids are very, very easy to mine compared to something with Earth gravity. They have to get back and forth. And so they're the main power. They've had all this time to build the population. They have the largest standing military. Most militaries in most of the systems are not gathered centrally. They're spread out so that they can respond to any threat or back up the stationary defenses, basically orbital platforms near gates or near planets or however that works. Mainly because it takes weeks to months to get from planet to planet, so you can't, and it takes, you know, seconds to hours to get a signal from one planet to another. So they have to spread them out, probably in companies or however you, I'm not really sure how you break down a naval military, fleets, whatever. We'll get to the statistics. Each nation has their own type of fleet, what they do, how they organize them, although sometimes they have some generalities, but we won't get into that here. But the solar system and its 4 systems are a corporatocracy. The companies run everything. And although they advocate that education is important and that individual rights are important, as long as there's a profit being made and those that run the companies are wealthy and in power, they're happy. If you show initiative to be able to get the education, to be part of that, then so be it. The government is not necessarily handed down to their children, which distinguishes to a corporatocracy, almost making it what we like to call a meritocracy. If you merit being able to run the company, then you do. But that also means that you are in the company somehow. So working your way up the ladder is very important. A lot of these guys have access to the highest technologies and anti-aging, so some of them can be up to 200 years, 150 to 200, and then maybe even go to cybernetic living. Those would be the few people that would be allowed to be cybernetic with a full skin covering and actually be considered human. So some of your top dogs have been there for maybe 200 or 300 years. So climbing the ladder once you get to a certain point is very difficult. I have to continue this on my private channel for MySpace.